What's up, everybody? I just wanted to say hi today and spend a few minutes with our friends and stuff on live streaming. I'm going to try to answer a few questions during the day because it's a lot quicker than me actually texting. All right, so we're dealing with an overheating at PT Cruiser. It's a young lady. Her PT Cruiser's overheating, and long story short, she can't quite figure out. She actually asked me if she needs to change the head gasket. Well, all right, let's just break this down a little bit before you pull the head gasket off. You gotta love it. All right, so long story short, the first thing we want to do when a car is overheating, we want to knock out a few little basic details. Like one, is there actually coolant inside the car? That's a great question. But if you don't have coolant in the car, let's get some coolant in and see what happens. We want to check the oil dipstick and see if we've got an excessive amount of fluid in it or if it looks milky. And the reason is, if you have a head gasket, it tends to fill up the engine crankcase, and that's the first thing you want to look at. If you've got that, then game over. Let's just go and call it. But let's say your oil looks good and you want to move to the next level. So the next level would be, do you smell anything sweet, kind of antifreezy smell coming out of the tailpipe? Is there a lot of white fog, look like a fog machine pumping out the tailpipe? Well, if there is, then you probably have a bad head gasket. But if you don't have bad milk on the oil stick and you're not showing a fog machine coming out of the tailpipe and it doesn't smell sweet, we might want to look a little further. And one of the first things we're going to do is let the car cool off. We're going to fill it back full of fluid and just fire it up and let it get warm. And as it gets warm, we want to check the heat, see if the heater's working nice and hot. If it's not, that means we have air in the system. No problem. Just look at how your particular car takes a bleed, but the 9 times out of 10, you can just fill it full of antifreeze and just kind of keep burping it. Cycle the gas, 12, 1400 RPM with the lid off of it just for a second, and then, kind of let it bubble out until you get good, nice hot heat. And then we're looking for, does the radiator fan come on? If the radiator fan doesn't come on, that might be a source. If you then see maybe a little bit of leaking around your radiator, there's air getting into the system somehow. Ever how that's happening, that's probably what's causing your overheating. Or if you don't see anything like that and it's still kind of slowly overheating, you may have a flow issue and the radiator might be clogged, some type of impairment in type of the system. What else could be important? The water pump. Look around the water pump right there. You could have a little leak, a drip, whatever going on right there. And they have a little weep hole on them. You can check that. So before you pull the head on a car, just assuming it has a bad head gasket, there's a lot of other little stuff you can do. You can pressure. There's a little pressure tester you can buy or get any mechanic to put on it. See if your system holds the 10 pounds or 12 pounds of pressure. If it does, you probably don't have a head gasket leak. And, there's just little things you can do. So before you jump into it, first off, if you're a beautician and that's what you do, you probably do a great job on hair, and that's great. But I would not suggest pulling the head off of a vehicle, jumpstart right off the bat as far as, you're just going to do your own work right off the bat. I would probably start a little slower, maybe do some brakes, do a little this and that first. Pulling a head gasket can be a little more involved than usual. All right. So what else is going on out there? All right. So today I'm going to be doing a live Q&A here on the car channel, and then a few minutes on Facebook and a few minutes on Instagram because we got people asking us questions and everything. So let me get rolling with it. Let's see if anybody's got anything to say. What's up, M&M Auto? Can I use a bug wash spray as a coolant to save on costs? Depends on if it's at a water base. Depends on what the temperature range for expansion is. You know what though? M&M, you got to be careful because people will actually use that, or they'll put car wash inside of their radiator thinking that, hey, I heard that on YouTube. So we can't tell them to do that too much. All right. Martinez says, I have a Toyota minivan. It has leather seats. What would you recommend for me to use on the seats? Because I've used other stuff, but it makes cracks in the seat. Okay. So One of the best products out there. Well, it depends on what level of damage you're dealing with on your seats. Get on my Facebook, send me some pictures of your seat, and I'll send you down the exact direction. But there's a couple different companies that really, 3M's got some really nice products as far as softening up the leather and the substrate. And then you've got that. McGuire's has got some good topical stuff like the VLR. That's a real good cleaner for that. And if you've already got cracks, you may need to go ahead and do a restore on it, and it may need to be painted. And when I say painted, there's a specific kind of paint for that. And basically, what it does, you clean the substrate, which is the part you're sitting on, and then you fill it with a specific type of material, and then you put the grain back on it, and then you put an adhesive, a promoter on it, and then you paint it, and that's how it goes back to looking normal. After years and years of use, a lot of the side bolsters on those things are actually made out of that rubber substrate. It's sprayed on, so it will wear down and it'll quote unquote crack. If it's not the real leather, it's really just lines in the vinyl. So it can be easily fixed. I probably need to do a video series on that because we have to do leather interior restores all the time, and it's complicated on one level, but on the other level, it's pretty simple once you understand the basics, and it's really about having the right tools to do it. So, yeah, start with 3M and send me some pictures of that, and I'll send you a little bit closer to how that goes on that. All right. Meanwhile, back in the world of YouTube, oh yes, oh that was another thing. Message: how do I like Chris Fix's new Hummer? How do I like Chris Fix's new Hummer? I did see a picture of him driving a ridiculously badass. It looked like he was on three wheels on a rock. Right when I was getting on here, so maybe he got one. I'm not sure what actually happened with that. Um, Yeah, so get some needs foot oil for the leather. Okay, for the leather, yes, but he may not be dealing with just the leather. So the leather is going to be the center pieces. Depends on what kind of car you're talking about, but the leather generally is the center pieces, and the side bolsters are usually pleather, which is like a vinyl slash leather, and that's usually where most people show a lot of the wear. Now the leather is like any leather. Yeah, oil definitely always helps it out. Great advice right there. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Chris Fix's Hummer. I guess I don't know. Maybe he got a new one. I'm not sure. If he did, those things are way badass. I love them. Good for him. Okay, what else we got here? All right, and I've never tried Neat's foot oil for the leather. That's a good. Alexandra Kelly wrote that. I'm gonna have to try. What is it specifically for cars, or is it some other application for it? Just hit me back on that. I'm kind of curious. I always try new stuff. Anything that can speed up the process or make it a little better, we tend to like. Meanwhile, what else is going on? Okay, I have on Facebook. We're going to be talking to a guy trying to diagnose a fuel pump. If y'all guys want to kick on that here in a second as I switch off. But yeah, so they're going to be doing a Facebook live on the diagnosing a fuel pump, which I think a lot of us already pretty much got a grip on that. And on Instagram today, we're going to be talking about a lady buying a classic Volkswagen, a 73, and it has 34,000 miles on it, and she wants some advice, so we're going to give her some on Instagram. Meanwhile, catch me every day. I'm going to be getting on here for a few minutes talking about some of the questions, and I just really enjoy connecting with you guys because, a lot of y'all are my friends, and some of you are my frenemies, and that's all good too. I like it all. I like it all, baby. Frenemies, friends, it's all good with me. Meanwhile, nothing but love from the RVA, and the car man's out of here. I'm capping my 10 minutes, and okay. He says, what's the Facebook channel? Okay, if you look at my homepage, guys, you're gonna see Facebook, Instagram, and whatever else Jen's got me on, and our Amazon store, which our Amazon store is really cool too. If you ever just hit our Amazon store on our homepage, you'll see all the cool stuff we do, and some of the products that we review and all that kind of cool stuff. So Amazon page is cool, and plus it's cool if you go in there, shop, and go buy something else. We don't even care because, believe it or not, Amazon keeps paying us, which is right up my alley. Meanwhile, I'm going to peace out because I have to get over to Facebook. But yeah, that's where you find our channel at. And do me a favor. If y'all guys could comment or subscribe or anything, that'd be great. We're trying to really get the algorithm to kick for us on the YouTube. So meanwhile, peace out. I'll see you tomorrow. Are you sure you want to start streaming? Stop streaming. Yep.